But how is that fair when, you know, there's other amazing countries that I've traveled to, like, for example, Portugal. I went to Portugal, but I only spent a few weeks in Portugal in total. So I only have a few weeks worth of experience traveling Portugal versus several years of traveling in Thailand. So how can I fairly compare the two? Do you know what I'm saying? So there's that. Like, maybe I'm overthinking the question, but like, I think it's a very hard question to answer truthfully, you know? And like, I don't want to, like, if I say, for example, hypothetically, I say Thailand is my favorite country in the whole world to travel, then what about all those other countries that I like? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And, oh, okay, I'm gonna continue answering questions. How do I afford to be a full-time traveler? I'm a full-time streamer. I am one of the lucky people, Gaspar and I, who's my partner. We opened this channel almost 6 years ago, and we were the first travel stream on Twitch. So I think we got very lucky in the sense that when we started sharing our life as travelers on Twitch, it was non-existent on the platform to do travel content. So we got that, and I guess that gave us this sort of boost quickly because we were the only ones doing it. And now, yeah, we were literally in the perfect place at the perfect time. We were living in the south of Thailand on an island. Before we became full-time travelers and streamers on Twitch, we were full-time travelers doing other things, like for example, scuba diving instructors. That was our like main profession at the time. That's how I made money. Literally enough to just pay rent and buy rice in the evening. Like, being a diving instructor is a great lifestyle, especially if you're living on a tropical island like in Thailand, but it's not going to make you rich, and you're not going to really make a savings. We lived very humbly. And then I also taught English as a second language, and that helped me travel and make some money to travel too. I would like do odd jobs teaching or tutoring English. So like when I was in Vietnam, I would tutor English, and I would do summer school for kids. And then in Thailand, I did that here in Bangkok as well. And then I went back to scuba diving. That's how Gaspar and I met. We're both professional PADI instructors. You guys know that if you've been with us for a while now. You have seen us do the thing and stream this stuff underwater. So then while I was still working in the south here in Thailand, we opened up our channel. And you guys seem kind of interested in our life, in the way we live, because it's kind of different, I guess, to your regular person, I guess. Not everyone lives the way we do. And you guys seemed interested in what it was like to live on a tropical island, and what it was like to be a scuba diving instructor, and what it was like to live out of a backpack full time and not have an address and be a full-time traveler. And so we kind of kicked off on Twitch, and we never looked back. Here we are 6 years later, and still traveling full-time and making a living from it on Twitch. Yeah. Well, you know, eating is a big part of the day, you know, and I'm not eating, I'm having a cup of coffee, starting the day. Did I get Project M figured out how to work? Sorry, off topic. Project M is slowly ready for launch, yes. When was my first travel? At what age? I was a baby. I grew up traveling, so I think it's natural. I think it kind of made sense that I became a full-time traveler as an adult, becoming a professional traveler. It's in my blood. I started traveling since I was a kid because of my parents. My parents travel a lot. And then when I was 7 years old, my parents started getting jobs abroad. So we started moving and living in different countries around the world. So it was like only normal for me. I never taught English in Japan, no. Well, as I was saying, Eli King, Gaspar is currently in a different location, preparing for our next big project. Yes, I usually do a lot of streaming, and lately I've been doing a lot of streaming on my own, but that's because Gaspar is doing a lot of work behind the scenes, because full-time traveling and streaming full-time there's a lot of work behind the scenes as well as being on camera and on stream. And you know, we'd like to take the advantage of having the two of us on the channel dividing the work. And we have a lot of stuff to do. So while I'm still in Thailand, I'm streaming while Gaspar is in the other place, in the other location, preparing for our next big project. I can do the top 200 country, listing my top 200, and there's 195 countries in the world. I've never been to Australia. I always wanted to go to Australia. It's funny, I've been thinking about Australia a lot lately. I think I dreamt about Australia last night.